You will fail in life. It's inevitable. No matter what the goal you might have for yourself, whether it be related to improving your health, or it might be to get better at a sport, or it might be to start your own podcast, whatever your goal might be, it's not always going to be happy and flowers, right? Most people, when they set a new goal for themselves, they enter a state of uninformed optimism, right? They see their friends doing this thing, or they see people online doing this thing, and they think to themselves, wow, I could probably do that too. I could probably see the same success that they saw. Well, they'll get into it, they'll start working on this project, they'll see success, some success, some success, and then they'll hit their first roadblock. And when they hit that roadblock, they enter this state, which I describe as an emotional overthinking state. They'll see the failure in front of them and think to themselves, wow, I don't know if this is meant for me. I don't think I can do this. This is too hard. And they'll start, or they might think to themselves that, okay, I want to get better, but what can I change in my life to get better? Maybe I could change this thing or that thing or this thing and that thing. And you'll think about all the nuanced factors that led to your failure, which paralyzes you. And then there's no way that you can really step forward and move to the next step and to continue to improve your life to achieve this goal. So what do we do about it? Well, I think that first being conscious about this emotional state is essential, right? To know that you went out and you had a match and you lost your match in your sport, right? You have a basketball game or a wrestling match or something, and you go out and you perform horribly and you do a lot worse than expected. Your mind will start to overthink and you'll get very emotional. So the first step is to be conscious about the fact that, okay, I've entered this very emotional state. Usually when I enter that emotional state, the first thing I try to do is detach. I try to tell myself, okay, I'm really emotional right now, so I'll start telling myself, oh, I have to do all this other stuff and change all this in my life and do this so that I can see the success. First, tell your brain to shut up and tell yourself that I will come back to this problem later, right? Find out something you can do in the meantime that'll get your mind away from it, right? Typically some type of activity or spending time with people you enjoy to get your mind away from it. Then I will try to return to my problem in a state where I'm more like conscious and aware of like what's happening around me, right? Typically when I go on a walk at nighttime, my mind is more like relaxed and I'm able to deal with the problem from a more logical perspective instead of an emotional perspective, right? Or if you take a cold shower, that usually kind of since it increases your adrenaline and your testosterone, like for a brief period of time, you feel like you're more conscious and you can deal with the problem in front of you, right? Whatever it might be for you, try to figure out something that after you've attached for a period of time, something that can get you into more of a logical state of mind instead of an emotional state of mind. But the biggest tool that I found that has helped me with overthinking after a big loss or being emotional is to redefine metrics of success, right? If you make the metric of success an external metric, right? Like for example, for a podcast, my metric of success might be the number of followers I have, right? It might be like the amount of like views I'm getting. These are external metrics of success that I don't have control over, right? In a wrestling match, it might be like whether I won the match or I lost the match, right? Which technically you might feel like you have control over, right? But at the end of the day, like most of the thing that you have control over was like in the training for it, right? Rarely in the match itself, because you're likely to be trying as hard as possible in the match itself anyways, right? So you don't have much control over the outcome, right? If you're trying to make money and you're trying to like work a job, you won't have much control over the outcomes, but you have a lot of control over the input, about how much time you put into something, right? So the tool that I use is that I tell myself to drastically increase the input and some output will be inevitable, right? For example, I might not make the goal of my podcast to be getting 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers. I set one goal for myself, and that goal is film 100 podcasts, film 1,000 podcasts, right? Because by the time that you've filmed 100 podcasts or 1,000 podcasts, you will have gained so many skills, you have improved so much, you will have learned so much that first of all, the quality of everything in your podcast will increase, but also you will inevitably, if you upload 100 podcasts, it's inevitable you'll get at least 100 followers, right? It's more likely you'll be close to 1,000 plus followers, right? So by making the metric of success something that you have control over, an input-oriented metric of success, that way you can ease the stress that your mind feels post-loss, right? Because you might be walking out of that wrestling match thinking that, wow, I lost that match, right? And typically what a lot of people's minds will start to do is I think that, oh, I have to change my training style. I have to focus on this thing. I have to spend like 1,000,000 hours in the room. I have to like start going on like 3 hour runs, and they'll start, that's what a lot of people do, like they'll start telling themselves all these stories to help them get out of that state of mind so they can feel better. But truthfully, nothing will serve you, right? The only thing you could tell yourself after you lose a match is, the only question you can ask yourself is, how many hours have I spent with this sport? If I, for the next 5 years, spend every single day wrestling, will I get better? Inevitably, yes, you will. Drastically increase the input and some output is essential. By telling yourself that there's only one thing you're tracking, not only does it kind of ease the stress in your mind, because now you only have one thing that you're trying to focus on and you can kind of laser focus on that one thing, but also it's a lot easier to measure your success, right? Because you can go to bed at night with a clear box check that you could do, right? Did I do the work or did I not do the work, right? If you go to bed and your metric of success is like, okay, how many followers did I get today? It's really up to like some external force that is controlling whether or not you got that success or not, right? And the day that you, maybe you're getting like 100 followers a day on your podcast or whatever, then one day you get like 50, right? Are you gonna say like an X mark that you didn't achieve your goal for the day when you went and did the same work that you do every single day? It doesn't make any sense. But if you make the goal that, did I spend 4 hours working on this today? Did I spend 4 hours in the gym today? Did I spend 4 hours working on wrestling today? When you simplify the metric of success, you're very easily able to track it and you can see the progress over time, and it can free you from those emotional hurdles of like, oh, I'm doing good today, I'm doing bad today, I'm doing good today, I'm doing bad today. Go back every single day and simplify your metrics of success by just doing the work every single day, and you're guaranteed to find success.